So what in the is gravity picking? This sounds like some TikTok Zoomer-coded NASA propaganda, but it's actually bald Canadian pseudo-homosexual mustachioed men superpowers, and you don't even need any maple syrup to make it happen. Or God forbid, live in Canada. What am I, a moose? I like to think of this as another version of fret tapping, where you're hearing two notes in there going really, really fast, kind of like some Eddie Van Halen style fret tapping, but it's done with the pick, so you're getting a little bit of pick attack in there. So think about like 9 and 14, and then you pick in the middle of it doing the gravity thing. There's two notes in there. It's not the same as going... That's its own thing. With this technique, you're gonna take the pick and you're gonna put it kind of perpendicular to the floor. It doesn't have to be totally perpendicular, but I kind of angle it with the frets, which on this guitar is a multi-scale, so I'm kind of like canting it a little bit like that. But you're essentially trim picking and wiggling your wrist really fast while trying to press down on the fretboard and, you know, mash the string down against the frets, like... So I was first exposed to this technique by that band Archspire and one of the guitar players in the band, Toby, who also exposed his. And when you see him do this technique, you can see that that is some crazy right hand action going, which also plays into that other thing that I mentioned. So some key things to remember is that this technique is not just picking up on the fretboard. That gives it more of like this tubular ultra neck pickup sound. No, you need to actually hear both the notes in there. This is kind of like going like a... or like tapping it, like... But you're gravity picking it. You want to have some pick attack in there. It's like a combination of alternate picking and fret tapping. That's why angling your pick with the frets helps, because it's not going to be bumping into the fret at any point. Again, this is not the same as fret tapping, and it's also not the same as just picking higher up on the fretboard. That would sound like... You see, when I do that, you only hear one note. It doesn't sound like there's two things going on at once. So that's what makes this unique. It's not alternate picking and it's not fret tapping with the pick. It's kind of a combination of the two. And once you get that sound, it's pretty easy to replicate it. And you can pick chords and just go up a couple frets and, you know, go higher up on the pentatonic, for example, or you can go up a major third, or you can do the diminished thing where you go like, For diminished, by the way, just go up 3 frets. That's your solution. Also, the frets on the E and the G string are the same as are the frets on the D and the B string. So there's your pro diminished tip for the day. Now I know what you're about to say. That sounds like shit, and you're kind of right. To me, it's like the gravity blasting of guitar. It's usually gratuitous and inappropriate. However, used in the right cases and the right context, it can be a really cool technique. And a pro tip is to switch to the neck pickup. However, the wiring on my guitar is a little bit funky right now, so I'm not going to do that. But when you use the neck pickup, I don't even need to zoom in. I'm just getting closer myself. When you use the neck pickup, it kind of accentuates the sound and gets rid of a little bit of the mud and the high ends and the overtones. Also, turn up your gate and maybe even use a fret wrap, but I wasn't doing any of the gate in the fret wrap stuff. And no, I don't know who originally pioneered this technique. It was not Toby from Archspire. He's just the guy that I believe coined the term gravity picking. I was told from some edgy TikTok black metal lords that it was, you know, just that. It was some black metal bands that originally started using this technique a long, long time ago in the valley far, far away in Norway, where they would use it to create this eerie, drony, dissonant sound, which you can do very well with this technique, especially if you only do it 2 frets apart. That's when you get, you know, that half step. That's when you get that really cool dissonant sound. However, I don't ever use this technique in any of my music with Firelink, and I don't really hear it used anywhere else other than maybe some rare black metal stuff. But you can get this effect by just doing like a chord, like a panic chord, if you will. But if you want to learn Archspire and you want to go through every song on Bleed the Future and Relentless Mutation, like I am, you need to learn this technique. You need to get good at it, and it's kind of difficult at first. It's kind of weird to pinpoint, but once you lock it down, once you get your pick angle figured out, it's really not that bad. And then you too can have Canadian superpowers. Thank you so much, Archspire, for everything that you do for this beautiful continent of North America and the world in general. You are what keeps Canada in good standing with me personally. And stop Canadian hate. This is obviously a joke. Please don't go and make fun of them. I totally love Canada. I'm about to make some pancakes and I have some natural maple syrup in the fridge, and you best believe I'm going to be using some of that. So cheers to the guys in Archspire, and to all of you for watching. Please like and subscribe because I have got so much more stuff in store for you.
Well, hello, Electra. How's that little honey bear? What do you think of Canada? You like Canada too? Who's better, Dean or Toby?
And tell me down in the comments who is more handsome, Dean or Toby.